God, no, there's no way we could have lived in the U.S.
No, healthcare.
None.
Healthcare alone.
Healthcare alone will break you.
Moving abroad allows you to save a lot. I mean, just so much money on those things.
Yeah. Hi, I'm KJ.
And I'm Craig.
We are from Texas and St. Louis. I was originally, I grew up in Texas, and then Craig grew up just outside of St. Louis, and we spent the last 8 years living just outside of St. Louis.
And we've been in Ajijic for right at 7 months.
So do we have an income? Yes. It's not employment related. We do have a small retirement income. As far as but earned income, we have our YouTube channel, and it generates no money. We're not there yet. Hopefully we'll get there one day. But as far as if earning money in dollars versus pesos, I've actually, just out of curiosity, looked at different income levels for different type of job positions and stuff here locally in Ajijic even. And looking at some of those jobs, I don't know that we'd be able to afford to live here if we earned in pesos.
No.
I don't think we would.
We would have to live in another town.
Yeah.
And work very hard.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I work just as hard as everybody else. It just so happens that just by sheer luck, I was born geographically somewhere that the economy is different and the currency is different. It's just a luck of the draw.
And there's a whole conversation that could be had about what it really costs to live there versus you become kind of trapped there into certain expenses that you cannot get away from, and they are astronomical. And so you have to make a certain amount of money to live, and you can never get above that. So there is a harshness to living in that environment as well, because it kind of controls what you do, how you do it, and what you have to have. There's actually laws that says you have to have this service if you own a home. You have to have this, you have to pay these kind of things, and it's not there's.
And taxes. Everyone charges taxes. I mean, our expenses in the U.S. were $7,000 a month. And we lived modestly.
And it got hard.
Very modestly. We lived very, very modestly.
Comparatively to a lot of people.
Yeah. To a lot of people, yeah, but it was still $7,000 a month.
And we live as well here and are able to do more things.
I could argue we live better.
A little bit. Quality-wise, quality of life-wise, I think we're actually in a better position for a lot less than that. And
there's no way we could afford to live there right now. With the small retirement we have, we couldn't afford.
We would be working at least another 15 to 20 years.
Yeah. I would never get the chance to. I wouldn't get the chance to learn about my creative side or us focus on our YouTube channel and see what that could be. I would be sitting at a desk managing companies until I died of a heart attack, because that's what would happen. Mexico just seemed like a natural place to land for us. I grew up in Texas, and so I have familiarity with the Spanish language. I was very familiar with certain aspects of Mexican culture coming from Texas. We also have family back in the States, and we both have elderly parents. So we really wanted somewhere that was going to be close in proximity to the U.S. and it seemed like a natural thing.
Yeah, and I also have had a lot of exposure to the Mexican culture through relationships and friendships, and I learned a bit of Spanish in high school and college. So it was a natural option for me as well.
Simplicity. Life for me here is a lot simpler. I'm not worried about keeping up with the Joneses. I'm not worried about the rat race. I mean, that could just be early retirement. But life here does seem to move in this part of Mexico. Life does seem to move at a slower pace. If you go out for breakfast and it lasts an hour and a half, okay. I mean, it just is what it is, and you enjoy it for what it is instead of feeling like I've got to get this done so I can move on to the next thing. And yeah.
And for me as an artist and I'm a writer and I'm a creator, I like to create things. And so, and being here, there's, especially if you think about what kind of people would move outside of their country to another place, it kind of gives everyone a familiarity with each other. We already know something about the other people that have come here. And then the locals are so beautifully engrossed in the art scenes, and art is important to the culture here. I don't feel the hindrance to be creative here. In the States, I always felt a sort of hindrance to it, like, nah, don't do that. That's not commonly accepted, or that's a dream. You need to have a job and work hard. And while that's the truth, and it does have to do with retirement, and it does have to do with the area where we live, there's just a freedom of expression here that is so eye-opening to me, and it's allowed me to grow in a very creative way. So I love it. I love that.
So as far as research goes, it was funny. Whenever we kind of made the decision that we were going to go ahead and retire early and move abroad, which we'd always wanted to live internationally, I got an email or something. I don't remember what it was, but there was it was about San Antonio to Tlacopan. And so I, being from Texas, saw San Antonio and got curious and started researching on Google and YouTube and different social media sites. And it kind of led me down the rabbit hole of all the different communities here in Lakeside. And it was really beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it was also going onto the social media sites that are kind of for the community here and becoming a part of those sites, asking questions, engaging with people. And we actually had friends before we moved here. So we had made online friends and people who had championed us in this process and were so generous. People are so kind. Everyone says good morning. Everyone says good afternoon. The food is amazing, and you just, it starts to tell you more about what your preconceived notions were, which is the shock.
Coming here and seeing how friendly everyone is and the sense of community and everything actually shocked me to realize that that's something that we've lost in the parts of the U.S. that we have lived in. It's not the same. And I remember it when I was a little bitty kid. I remember communities being a lot closer and people being a lot friendlier and helpful and stuff. And I don't see that anymore. Yeah. So that it was more shocking about where I came from. So there was a couple down the street and from here, and they sent me a message one day. They were like, hey, we're out walking the dogs, and there's a townhome just down the road from us that they just put a for rent sign out, and we know it's currently being renovated. Here's the information if you want to call. So I did. I called them and met the guy who was doing the renovations, and we had a video chat on WhatsApp and met him. The girls came down and did a video walkthrough for us while it was under renovation. And then whenever he finished it, and they actually turned out, the guy renovating the property is actually the husband of the property manager. So that was it.
We had like a triad of, we were able to get the people in the neighborhood who knew the neighborhood, who could tell us exactly what the neighborhood was like and do a walkthrough for us. And then we also were able to connect with not only the landlord herself and the rental agent, but get them on video and talk. And they could see us and see how genuine we were and all of those things. So technology helped us a lot. People helped us a lot. Other immigrants here were just so kind. They understand what it's like to try to find a place, from afar. And they were just so helpful. So
yeah. So for us, we kind of estimate that our monthly expenses are about 2,500 US dollars. Our A lot of the utilities are included in our rent. The ones that really aren't are like electric, and I think that runs us about $70 every 2 months. That's high. I want to get that down. Like I said, we get filtered water. It's like roughly $5 US a week.
Cable and or television and internet cost extra. It's not included for us.
Yeah.
Which is about 50.
No, it's like $35. Yeah, $35 US a month.
Yeah.
As far as like groceries, groceries and eating out, we kind of blend those together. Try to.
One
You're
budget.
always eating, right? So if you're going out, you're not eating at home. So we try to. We think of that as probably like $500 or $600 a month.
Yeah. We are fortunate in that we don't have to watch that as closely as some other people. So if we want to go out and grab dinner, it's okay. We can do that.
Yeah.
But like we went to the Wednesday market, the Tangies the other day, and came home with an entire backpack full of things, and I think it was about $30 US.
Yeah.
And that we'll freeze some of it, we'll cook some of it fresh, and it will last us for 3+ weeks. There's a local carniceria here where you can get meat. We like to go over to we'll take the bus over to Hocotepec or Chapala. Sometimes the prices are a little less there, so we can save a little money and add to our budget that way. But we tend to try to shop locally. We only go to the big name brand stores when we have to, or when we need to do one big haul, and then it lasts us for several months. But the local stores really help us reduce our budget a lot.
Yeah. I did some rough numbers, and it's about a 65% decrease
From where we moved.
from where we were living. Yeah.
Now, we also made some lifestyle changes. Have a similarly sized house, very comfortable. We were able to acquire the things we needed fairly easily, and we're still, at that decrease. At first, when you arrive, especially if you've come without your personal belongings, so like we brought 6 tubs, like the plastic tubs. You're going to have to repurchase some things, and it's going to take you. You need to kind of have a pad in there.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You may get to where you are living, and even if it's fully furnished, what is there you may not like, or you might want to redesign it, move it around, and so maybe you need a table to paint on, and so you are going to have some out-of-pocket expenses up front that are going to be one-time things, and they're going to go away. So I would definitely budget for those type of one-time expenses up front. Just kind of get yourself set up and moving the way you want to live. So I'm trying to get into my creative side. I'm learning to draw, to paint, all of that sort of stuff. I also enjoy plants. I'm learning about cacti and succulents and different soil types. And I have friends, we trade little baby succulents and grow them from scratch. That's a lot of fun. I still bake.
He's learning to bake at this altitude, and what kind of ovens work better, and there is a difference because there's a lot of propane ovens here. So,
Yeah.
that bakes differently. So he, switched over and got him an electric tabletop oven. But yeah, we also really like to. It's about meeting people. It's about the people. And so we try to get together with people as much as we can. So our friends that go out to dinner for holidays or go out to dinner on Friday nights, if they invite us, we always try to make sure we go when we can.
And we spend a lot of time. We spend a lot of our time on our YouTube channel and traveling and meeting new people, and we're really enjoying traveling around Mexico and being able to show other people, different destinations in Mexico and what it's like and how beautiful it is, and
The festivals. There are so many festivals here. There is actually a festival season. I believe it runs from like September through the end of the year. There's multiple different ones here, and it's just celebration after celebration after celebration. And sometimes you just can't get to them all. But it's so interesting and so much fun and so loud sometimes. But that's part of the experience.
So we found the Mexico relocation guy because we had a dog who was elderly and had a bit of a medical issue, and we knew we couldn't fly him. So I got on Google and just started searching pet transport companies to Mexico or trusted contacts, Transport Mexico, and just started looking for different terms. And I ran across the Mexico relocation guide and started watching YouTube videos and things like that. And I found that the Mexico Relocation Guide had a vetted list of trusted partners. And so we just decided to buy it strictly for the contacts for pet transport. Then once we got into it, we really figured out and found out what all of the information that's in there. And one of the it was funny, I was really going through it one Saturday, and I yelled across the house at Craig, I could have saved so much more time if I would have just bought this in the beginning. Yeah. It the information on immigration and all that sort of stuff is phenomenal. And a lot of that research I'd done by myself, but I was able to use the Mexico Relocation Guide to confirm the research that I'd done on my own. But there were also things in there that kept me from having other pitfalls that I didn't think of.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that we didn't know yet because we hadn't reached that point in our research, and it lays it out for you, but also provides you with, you don't have to do the research on the resources. You know that they're trusted. There's other people who have used them that they wouldn't be in there if they weren't a trusted partner. So that really took a lot of worry off of us. Anytime you move abroad, any country you go to, doesn't matter, safety, finances, all of those things, you want to make sure that you're, because those are situations where sometimes people take advantage of people in those, in those scenarios. And so it just took that worry right out of it for us.
And having all of that in just one resource.
Well organized.
Just one resource is absolutely amazing. And even going back now, and you buy it and it's a lifetime membership, and you go back and you look at it, I remember certain resources being in there, and now they're not. And they're not providing those services or whatever. So Mariana, she really keeps that stuff up to date.
It's very dynamic.
It's up to date. I trust it, and I know that if we love Ajijic, and currently we have no plans to leave. But if we ever decided to move to another city in Mexico, that would be our go-to to figure out what resources are there in that city, that location.
And Mariana is very responsive. She wants to grow the page and make it more value, or the resource to make it more valuable. And if you have a question and you can't find it, there's like groups that you can get on that are specific for people in the Mexican Relocation Guide, and she'll answer your question, or she'll do the research and then put out a little video or put out a thing saying, hey, we discovered something new. And alert people to it. And it's not just the website gets updated or that resource gets updated. There's interactive
social media
and videos and alerts and those types of things that tell you something's changed. You need to know this. So it's huge.
It's really well, and there's a community of people who have bought the Mexico Relocation Guide, and you can get online and see people answering each other's questions and bouncing back and forth, and it's I don't know how we would have done this without it.
Yeah, I mean, we opened it and went, oh, thank goodness. It was really, really a lifesaver for us, yeah.
Yeah. We have not experienced any discrimination whatsoever. I can say here in Ajijic specifically, it feels like most of Lakeside. I mean, all of Lakeside. I haven't experienced anything negative whatsoever. The community here seems to be very live and let live. The LGBT community specific to Ajijic, which also pulls in Chapala and all of that, is an amazing community.
It really is.
It's truly an amazing community. I'll give a good example through a story. We have some friends, and they lived in the Yucatan for like 3 years. Decided they want to get out of the heat, so they decided to move to Ajijic, and we're here for approximately 4 months. One of them had a medical emergency, and so was back in the States and had a medical emergency, and they realized they had to move back to the States very fast. We were actually in Mexico City at the time, and one of them called and asked when we were coming back. We were going to be here the next day, and we got together. He had dinner. He said, "I need help," and so he reached out to a couple of other people here in the LGBTQ community, and the entire community pulled together and was able to get everything that they owned here sold, liquidated, donated, whatever it took. Get the car inspected for a trip, and get him out of here in a week.
Yeah, there were people who started posting, hey, we need help, and community members came by, offered their assistance. Do you need a truck? Do you need somebody to move something? Can we help in any way? Do you just need a hug? We actually, during the sale, they'd put the message out on within the community, and people were just stopping by to wish them well and to give them a hug and offer. I'm choking up. Sorry, it was very meaningful because our friends are they're our friends and they're very special to us, and so it was wonderful to see how everybody came together. Then not only did they do that, but then they the local bar up here, Lucky Bar, kind of organized a little signature book for the people that couldn't stop by, and everyone wrote messages and made sure they had contact information, and we were able to take it to them, and then people to this day still ask, how are they doing? How's this happening? They want to know. It was absolutely remarkable to see. I mean, just people descended.
People they didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was that the entire LGBTQ community just pulled together and helped these people get done what they needed to do. Yeah. It was beautiful. You have to be patient, and you have to be open to new experiences. Where you're going is not going to be like where you're coming from. It's just not. And if you have the mentality that you're going to go somewhere, go to a new country, and try to recreate it to be where you came from, don't do it.
Yeah, I would say that I think a lot of people underestimate the differences in daily life from what they're used to another country, and there's reasons for some of that. Some of that is climate-wise. Some of that is we have different styles of homes because the climate is different. So guess what? You're going to have to acclimate to that climate, and that has nothing to do with people. That's about your location in the world. And they forget, that they think they could just come down here and everything's gonna be the same. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle and end up going someplace else. Do the research, really understand it, visit it, even though I didn't. We came down here sight unseen, but I will tell you that being YouTubers, we've watched every YouTube channel and video that existed about Mexico, this Lakeside, and expats and moving. So we branched out as far as we possibly could. We got the Mexican Relocation Guide, and I think we scoured through that thing as deeply as we could.
Buy it.
No, it really is. It was a very, very valuable resource in this.
Yes.
And we, so everything that we did to do this made it a little easier along the way. And you go, oh yeah, there's that thing they talked to so and so on this group talked about. There it is, and then you already had a heads up on how to handle it. Yeah.
And I mean, be open minded. Learn. Try to learn the language.
Have fun with it.
Have fun with it. It is fun. Meet local people. Go to local restaurants. I mean, most people that I know from the U.S. talk about when they travel inside the U.S. to cities they don't know, they want to go to where the local people eat. Guess what? Do the same thing in another country. If you move to Mexico and you see a lot of Mexicans at a taco stand, it's probably the best darn tacos you're ever going to have. Go there.
Go to that one.
Yeah, be open to new experiences and be kind. Be kind.
Number one.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't know that any country, if you showed up in their country, somebody just dropped you in the middle of it and you were kind, I don't know that there would be much of a problem.
No. Yeah. It's been great being interviewed by the Mexican Relocation Guide, and if you haven't already,
go find Your Truly Remarkable Life and get the Mexican Relocation Guide.
Yes, get the Mexico Relocation Guide. It's awesome.
Seriously.
Good luck.